Hello, I'm Gavin Hoey and you're watching the Technique of the Month from Digital Photo Magazine. This month I'm going to show you how you can create your very own Christmas cards using the templates you'll find on our cover CD. And what could be better than sending a personalised Christmas card? Well, if you're using Paint Shop Pro, that's what we're going to cover in this video. So let's start with this picture here. This is one of my pictures and I thought it looked suitably Christmassy. What I need to do is to get this ready to go into one of the templates. So let's come up to Edit and choose Copy. And that's basically it. We can get rid of that. We don't need it anymore. And we can jump over to one of the templates. Now there are a bunch to choose from, but I like this one with this sort of painted border effect. Now this is going to be the front page of our template, of our card. And this is going to be the inside of our card. These black lines here are actually guidelines. They're not going to print out. They're there to help you and guide you as to what part of the card does what. But before we actually do anything to this template, we've got to prepare it, make it ready for the actual picture itself. So coming down to the layers here, you'll find there's a couple of layers. There's a top layer with some typing on, which isn't much good for us in Paint Shop Pro, but we'll come to that later. Underneath that, we've got the background layer. Now we need to get rid of the background layer and make it into a normal workable layer. So I'm going to right click the background layer, and right at the bottom is Promote Background Layer. Click on that and it'll rename it Raster 1. Great, okay, so we now have a normal workable raster layer. But whilst we're here, there's one more thing to change, and it's equally as important. Come to the word normal, which is the blend mode, and change it to screen. Now, nothing's really going to change on the template at all because, well, nothing's really changed. But what we can do now is to put a picture in behind and see through this black area here. What picture are we going to put in there? Well, let's go to Edit, choose Paste as New Layer, and of course it's the picture we copied just a few moments ago. Right, now this new picture covers the template completely, which isn't much help. We actually need to reverse things here by dragging the image, the Raster 2 layer, under the template, which is the Raster 1 layer. So now we've reversed things round, our template covers our image, but here you can just see the picture poking through that little hole that we made using the screen blend mode. But it's way too big. Not a problem, we'll just swap tools. Let's get the pick tool and grab a corner handle and we'll just shrink this down, something like that. And basically that's the front page of our Christmas card completed, and you could stop there without any real problems at all. But what I'd like to do is actually put a sort of Christmassy message just along the front of our card here. It's an optional extra, it's not something you have to do. You could just jump through the video and see how to change the text inside, but I've got a nice big blank area here, so let's put something nice in there. Now if you're going to do this, you've got to start off by changing layers. Absolutely important that you're working on the Raster 1 layer, otherwise you won't see the text at all. Now come over to the text tool, which is the letter A there, and well, you can set a few things up here, and it's probably a good idea to do this now. So the fonts, well, what font are you going to use? I've got well, way too many, so I'm going to stick with something that's really safe and classic and timeless, like Times New Roman. Size, well, 36 seems to work about right, so I'm going to stick on that one. I'm going to make my Times New Roman a bold and italic font, because that adds a little bit of depth and size, and it just kind of looks better, trust me on that one. And the colour, well, the colour for your text is picked up by the background colour. Now white, well, that's not very festive, is it? So let's double click in there and we'll choose, well, red, actually, that looks pretty good. We'll go with the red instead. Actually, we'll actually choose the red. Always helps. There we go. So we now have a red text. We can just click here and start typing. So something like that. Okay, and we'll click apply. And that's kind of nice. That looks okay. If you want to make it just a little bit more stylish, we could put a little drop shadow in here. I think that would certainly add a little bit to the look. So let's come up to Effects, choose 3D Effects, and then Drop Shadow. Now when you click drop shadow, you're going to get a warning message saying that you need to change your layer from a vector layer into a raster layer. Now do check your text at this point because there's kind of no going back once you change it. So I'm going to click OK, and now I can add in a drop shadow. So there's various different things to do, but where I'd actually suggest you start is over here on the attributes, the opacity and the blur. I'm going to push my opacity up to about 70%. and I'm going to decrease my blur down to sort of, well, less than 10. Let's see, that's 8. There we go, that's fine. So now I can actually see my shadow, where before it was a lot harder to spot. Now the fun bit, we can just get this little kind of cross and drag that around and move our shadow about. And if we move it closer to the circle, the shadow doesn't move quite so far away. So something like that gives a little bit of 3D depth to your text. Okay, so that's looking pretty good. Happy with that. Let's fit it onto the screen. So now we can think about the inside of the card. Now, there is already some text in here, but as you can see, it's kind of the wrong way up. Okay, well that makes sense because we've got to fold this card and stick it all together. It actually does have to be the wrong way up. So let's turn our template around. We're going to go to Image, rotate to the right, and then back to Image and rotate to the right again. So we've turned it 180 degrees. So now, as you can see, our text is the right way up. Trouble is, these templates were designed using Photoshop, which is all well and good, and it's pretty compatible with PaintShop Pro normally. The exceptions are things like text, which aren't compatible between the two bits of software. So what we need to do is to get rid of that text. Simply click the visibility off or delete the whole layer if you like, and type in our own text instead. So back with the text tool, the letter A, and we can change a few things again in here. Well, I'm going to keep the font the same because I kind of like it. I'm going to make the size a lot smaller. Let's make it 24, and I'm going to turn off the bold and italics so it looks different to the front. And the color, well, again, you can have a color in here if you want. I'm just going to stick to the standard black or white. I'm going to go with black, I think. So let's just type in here, and we'll put, hope you have a very, oops, spell it right, happy Christmas. There you go, and we'll click apply. And there we are, that's pretty much it. We're all done. We can fit that onto the screen. And there it is. There is our Christmas card template with our new image, with our customized text. It's ready to print and then ready to send to all of your friends and family. Okay, so there you go. Print your own, have fun, and have a really great Christmas.